that is literally large and they have a great student need. Say you have low reading proficiency, levels. I mean, they're going to get more than another school that might be large, but their proficiency levels might be better. I mean, that's not fair.
So that's like in Raleigh, we have a school, Southeast Raleigh, that is very low functioning, but it's a huge school. So if you look at that, their need level is huge. It's very great. So they would get a good portion if we operated on this thing. They would get a big portion of the budget, which is needed, but that doesn't mean that out of the 33 high schools here, that there are not other high schools that are just as needy, but just don't have, that are not that large.
Right.
I think it's a great idea in principle. I just don't know how well it could be applied. Because it's definitely true. Like your kids that are further behind, they need more support. They need smaller class sizes. They need, high quality instruction. You need to be able to. And I worked at a lot of Title I schools in Atlanta, and you need an incentive to lure teachers there because those are the schools that really need good teachers, and that's not typically where good teachers want to work. So I agree with his idea. I just don't know what it would actually do as far as funds and how much money are we talking about?
Yeah.
One thing that I've seen that wasn't mentioned was what is the parents' viewpoint on the situation? I mean, because, for example, say you're in a school that is pretty large, everything is going well, students' performance is, exceeding expectations, but now you're getting this new program that's going to require possibly a reduction in funds.
Well, I can tell you that like at the very affluent schools that have a lot of parent involvement, they're going to be very upset. They are going to think that it is unfair and that is not equal, and they pay taxes too. I mean, I know exactly what the arguments there would be.
That would be,
fair is really like when you're talking about meeting student needs, and it's something we talk about in EC a lot, is that being fair is giving everyone what they need to be successful. And that's not going to be the same for everybody. So fair doesn't mean everyone gets the same. It just means everyone gets what they need. But from a parent perspective, when you're talking about the money for their child's school, I mean, I think we all know the way they're going to see it. And the truth is, a lot of the schools that need the extra funding and that are really low income, they don't have the parent involvement to like, and that's what I always saw was lacking, is like, I would see kids in classes they didn't need to be in. They were failing and struggling. And if their parent had come up there and made a bunch of noise, they would have moved them out, but they didn't have a parent at home to do that. And that's the same situation with this, like those schools that need the extra funding, if it gets into some sort of heated battle where the affluent school is demanding equal funding, I don't know that there'll be anyone standing up for those schools.
Yep. I agree.
See, my only issue, and I look at, I guess based on my current circumstances at the school that I work, we were an F, then we moved to D, now we're C. We have a very active PTA. Money-wise, I mean, we're the largest middle school in Durham County. Excuse my puppy, he's playing with his noisy balls. Stop, Max. I'm kind of averse to just throwing money at a problem without a real distinctive, plan on how it's going to be allocated. Case in point, if you want to have smaller class sizes and you want to contribute a larger portion of the budget to acquiring highly qualified teachers and maybe literacy, then that's cool. But to kind of like just throw money at the school, I mean, no offense, how do we know they're going to utilize it in the most beneficial way for the student?
That's true. And I think that's one of those pieces that's really missing from this case study. We don't know what the intentions are. What are they planning to do with the funds? Because, I mean, it could be used a million different ways. It could be used just to better their football team, and then it wouldn't really be effective.
Right. And then because it did say that the principals that the superintendent would give the principals the leeway,
Discretion.
the
Mhm.
discretion. So that's going to look really different in a lot of schools, you know.
And what I've realized, being in administration now, is like when they say like at the principal's discretion, that's not usually just open-ended either. Like most of the time it's at your discretion within these limits, within
these
these
parameters.
programs, you know, but none of that's not detailed in the case study, so it'd be hard to know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, it seems like we came up with a lot of pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
And then one thing that I did see was that talking about in the book, it talked about that the funds, that the one main thing is that really the superintendent can't determine how these funds are distributed. It really is the state that distributes the funds. A superintendent cannot just make this this decision.
Oh, okay.
Because it said somewhere, and I'll have to go back and find it, but
In the book?
yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
book.
The book is really hard to read.
I think I mentioned
So-
that where, yeah, it's actually the state's responsibility. The Supreme Court stated that it's the state's responsibility to provide the students with a basic sound education and not the superintendent. And it cannot be deferred to the school district or the board to actually provide that level of support. So technically, that's why I was saying in the beginning that he's technically functioning out of bounds, because this is not even your area to where you can even enforce this type of decision making. Like, this is up to the state.
So, state funding has to be distributed to the schools, however the state has decided. And then the superintendent can only has discretion over local funds. Is that the way it works?
Mhm.
Okay.
But he cannot revise the funding formula. So pretty
Okay.
much
Yeah, the funding formula has to stay the same.
Right.
But now he could have discretion on how it's dispersed, but he just can't control the formula. The state creates the formula.
And it seems like that's exactly what he's doing, though. He's changing.
Yeah, he's trying to manipulate it. Once he got the formula, he's trying to manipulate it, which I guess he can do that. I gotta find where it said. I know it was in that PowerPoint that she gave us as a sample. Packer. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That PowerPoint, that's my that was my original cohort people.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
They
I
went over
recognize
the
them.
top. I was like, wow.
I'm not even sure that they had the same assignment.
Okay, I'm thinking.
It seemed like it was a lot more in depth than what they've asked us to do.
Yeah, I hope so,
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't think that was really necessary for a case study.
Yeah, I'm thinking not.
That was a little over the top. Which I'm okay for doing extra, but I was like, whew.
I usually am, but I can barely keep my head above water this semester.
Yeah, right now, I think this is actually, I mean, I feel bad for you because I know you're having to redo stuff, but this is how we felt the past 2 semesters. I mean, we were all almost in tears both semesters.
I mean,
this semester we feel like we're breathing.
It's more because of my new job that I can't keep up, because I work, like, the whole purpose of me being in this program was to get this job, and now that I have it, I'm trying to do a good job, but it's so much to learn.
What county are you in, did you say?
In Burke County.
Burke, that's right.
And at work, you know, things are changing all the time, like it is for
Y'all have kids?
everywhere right now.
Do y'all have kids right now?
We do. We're on Plan B.
Okay.
So we have half our students Monday, Thursday, and the other half on Tuesday, Friday. And then Wednesdays are professional development. But the school board's meeting Monday to decide if we're going to bring elementary back in Plan A of some sort. But we don't I mean, there's a lot of questions about
Are
that.
you middle school?
I'm middle school.
You're middle, okay.
Yeah. But we're spending a lot of time trying to find our students, like tracking them down, doing a lot of home visits because we haven't, like some of them we haven't had contact with since March.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing today is creating
Yeah.
a list.
Trying to find them. And for some of them, like it's scary, like that we don't know where they are because we don't know that they're safe.
Right.
So really trying to make lots of home visits, trying to find kids, make meetings, stuff like that.
Yep. I'm creating a list. I got all my teachers. I'm the CTE department chair. And I
Okay.
just had all my teachers send me all their students that they have not seen yet or have seen very limited. And then we're going to cross-reference them on the digital list, who we're still waiting to get devices. We're going to cross-reference them against that. Plus the counselors are going to chime in to see if they know anything about them. And then after we've gotten all that, then be able to go and look at who's left.
Well, and we were lucky in that the county had kind of planned ahead. They were looking to start a virtual academy within the next couple years, and they pushed it forward this summer.
Right.
So it started. So our enrollment should be close to 700. I think we have 150 something kids that are in virtual academy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to provide a device for every student. But because we're like really in the mountains, there's a lot of places here where there's no Wi-Fi. So the kids can't get internet at their house. So we've been trying to provide hotspots through some donations and counseling, but it's really difficult. They just can't get on. So them being able to come back a couple days a week has been much better.
Mm-hmm.
But the teachers, I mean, we have so many, like progress reports are going home today and tomorrow, and the teachers, I've spent so much time in meetings with teachers trying to calm them down about, they're just so anxious about sending home grades like that.
Yeah.
You know, teachers don't want to fail students, but these grades they're really bad.
Yeah.
So,
what middle school are you at? And
at East Burke Middle School. It's right on the line between Catawba County and Burke County.
Okay, because I started out in Catawba County.
Okay.
I started out in Catawba. So are you at Granite Falls? Is that Burke County?
I think so. I'm not sure. No, Granite Falls is Catawba County.
That is Catawba.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, how should we divide this up? Jennifer said just give her whatever. She didn't care. I don't care.
I'm willing to do, I guess, the first part.
You want to do the Leandro this time?
Yeah.
The intro?
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
I was gonna ask, so I'm really behind, but when I got my task 1 back from Dr. Barnes, it just said, this is a good start, go on to task 2. And then I gave it to Dr. Talent. I didn't get anything back. So I went ahead and submitted it. And then she gave me 100 and said rubric met. So I guess like there's no feedback. So
no,
I'm just going to keep going, I guess, and assume that it's all right. But I know that it's not really that great. I mean, I know the content was there, but I didn't put any references, and I know I needed to add stuff to the financial part. But I don't know. I'm like, okay, well,
at this point, I'm just
going to keep going because I'm just trying to get through it. So
yeah, I would just let it go and see.
I'm usually like a really exceptional student, and I'm really on top of things. So I keep talking to my sister and be like, I feel so bad about school this semester. Like I'm barely getting through. But she was like, just get through it.
Yeah. At this point, I think that's kind of how we all are, is we just want to be done. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just want to be done.
Yeah. And I think maybe they're being more lenient and forgiving because they know the situation with schools right now, and everybody's probably under a lot of stress.
Yeah. Yeah. So what were the other two parts, Carly?
Appropriateness of the superintendent's plans, the pro stance and the con stance.
Which one do you want, Jennifer? I don't care. Jennifer, Allison, I don't care.
I can do pros or cons, either one.
Yeah, I don't care either.
I'll do the pros.
Okay, I'll take the cons.
And then Jennifer can do what, the conclusion or wrapping it all up?
Yeah.
So what do we think as a group, I guess, stating as far as, do you think it's appropriate what he's doing? Or do you think it's the intentions are all well and good, but in reality, like I said, he's stepping outside his bounds, so to speak.
I would agree with that. Like, I think he's well intentioned. I just don't know that it's realistic in application.
I'm writing this down. Yep, I agree. Realistic in application. I just don't know how is he's going to justify. I mean, unless he has a true plan, how is he going to justify that? Or unless he's planning on, getting here again, we don't have enough information, but is he going to get, from the principals, is he going to get a plan from each of them on how they're going to fund it before he, they have to get his approval? He's just going to say carte blanche, here it goes, you've got it, you do whatever with the money you want to? I mean, that's some questions.
Also about community support. Does he even have any? Has he briefed the community on his intentions, and what is the parent feedback like? You're getting ready to try to, uproot and make a major adjustment to how money is allocated. You better have some backing from the community.
Hey. Your Wi-Fi is working.
I don't know. Y'all probably already had a better system than me, but I didn't realize he had to use my phone and my laptop to set it up. So I couldn't go anywhere and call y'all because he had my own phone.
I videoed it for you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, don't let me interrupt.
We're just.
I'll jump in.
We gave you the summary, if that's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We were just talking about the intentions, like what we a summary of how we felt about it totally. And kind of what we said was, we think the superintendent has good intentions, that, he is looking out for the best interest of the students, of the school, that kind of thing. I mean, I think with this funding, he's trying to do the right thing, so to say, for students. Especially looking at their, whatever it said, their basic sound education. He's trying to improve that to make sure that they do get equal education.
Right.
But we think, one, that he's kind of stepping outside of the bounds a little bit, because it's really supposed to be done by the state versus the superintendent just kind of going
locally. Yeah.
And then what else did we say? Oh, that, what else did we say, girls?
The legal parameters.
Yeah.
Even empowered to actually be able to make this type of change to the resource allocation formula. I mean, technically he's not empowered to do so. So he's kind of stepping outside his jurisdiction.
I thought so too. And I tell you, reading the other PowerPoint was helpful to me. I don't know if y'all got, because it was so long, I don't know if y'all got to the end of that, but that was helpful to me. But it kind of surprised me that they piloted it in 4 schools. Like, in a way, I feel like that's a good thing to do. But on the other hand, it's like, can you do that? Can you just pick some schools? And especially if it really wasn't within his authority anyway, just to go in and do it did kind of surprise me. But I did think it went right along with what we learned about teacher empowerment and having people's input and being transparent and And I agree with y'all. I think he was trying to do the right thing.
And this in our book, it's like, I think it's page 40, it's page 49 where it talks about school site-based budgeting, which is what they call what he's doing. But it says that some items can be allocated through a school-based budget and some cannot. So it said to look at school discretionary funding.
Mm-hmm. And that's your Fund 6 in North Carolina.
Okay.
So how did y'all divide the other ones? Because when y'all get finished, I'll figure out how to make it all come together in the summary. But tell me how y'all separated it, so I'll know how it.
I'm gonna do the pros.
Okay.
I'm doing the cons.
Okay.
Carly's doing Leandro, explaining Leandro, doing the
Okay.
beginning.
Okay. I noticed that she didn't say it in the directions this time, but that other PowerPoint touched on some ethical paradigms again. Would y'all want me to do that in the summary or no?
That's a good
That'd be
idea, I think.
cool.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll talk about what we all agreed about. If it's not already covered, I don't want to really restate what y'all are saying, but then I can pull those in.
The one thing too we talked about is, what kind of, from the pilot program, did he have parent support? See, that's another thing. Again, we're at that same point where we don't have enough information.
Right.
Because we don't know, did the parents support it, or did they totally buck him and he's going over their heads and going to do it anyway? Does he have any community feedback? What they think, what the community's looking at. Because if you look at that, some of the local funding comes from your county commissioners
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
some of that kind of stuff. So he really needs to have some community support, even though we're talking about state funds here. They could say, oh, no. Well, if you're going to do all that with those state funds, then we're going to cut back on your community funds. I mean, they could.
That's right. And
Easily.
the school board usually has some opinions about how funds are allocated too, like what they want the schools to prioritize. Even though they're not providing funds, they still play a role in that.
Right. Which still here, what kind of support does he have? And I think that's what I would put with some of the cons is, here again, we're missing some valuable information, to really be able to agree or disagree, because we need more information to really make a good, strong, educated decision.
Right. I agree.
Anything else y'all can come up with?
Should we talk about North Carolina funding us?
Yeah. Where's our raise?
Hmm.
What was it? We got 25 cents this year?
Yeah, and I'd be satisfied if our schools had pre-kindergarten programs, and in my entire county, I think we have 2 schools with.
We don't have very many either.
I mean, that would be
as big as
huge.
Wake County is.
Yep.
It would be nice.
Because that was in that.
Yeah. Was the
It's
more
laid out.
for 4? Are we still operating on more for 4? Are some of the preschools still funded through that?
I don't know.
Because we used to have more at 4 or whatever it was. I wondered if I need to look that up. That's something that I'll need eventually. So what else do y'all think? Do we need any other information? Carly, what else you got?
I think that's it. We summed it up. Look, I'm down with leaving it as is. We have a
You
lot
don't
on
have
our
to
plate.
present. That's the good thing. All we
I
gotta do is
agree
turn
with
it in.
her.
I think it's
Like, I
good.
think I feel like we're really strong on the last one.
Yeah. So I think we're good. Just type it in our thing, turn it in, and ba-dum.
Yeah.
What does
Reflect.
this do?
I think it's
Tuesday.
next week. Yeah.
Yep, Tuesday night.
Okay.
So,
And
Right.
then I think, is our reflection due right after class, like before, or can it be in the next day or two? I can't remember.
I think it's the next day or two,
Okay.
because I think I turned mine in like the next day.
Okay.
I went ahead and wrote it that night just
Yeah.
because
It was fresh. Yeah.
we
Me
got 10
too.
minutes, ladies.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I will, please let me know after I do the summary if y'all feel like there's something I need to add or change. I'll be happy to. And thank you for setting those slides up, Carly.
Yeah,
No
thank you.
worries.
And
Teamwork.
I'll send you the
teamwork.
video, Jennifer. Does
Thank
anybody
you.
else want the video? The rest of you want it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll send it to everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for thinking of that, Debbie.
You are welcome. No
And y'all
problem.
go ahead and pop out a glass of some nice wine, because that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to pour me some Moscato.
Yep, it's time. Pass
I'll
that
send
clock,
y'all
Carla.
my home, what's it called? Home COVID test. And it's like, I'll send it to you, but it's basically like pour a glass of wine, see if you can smell it,
Yep,
drink some, see if you can taste it.
I love that. Yeah, and it says then you have to repeat it.
Yeah, you have to repeat it to make sure it was right. You need to do like multiple
Yeah,
attempts to make sure you get a reliable result.
yeah. I think I could make
Good.
100 on that.
Yeah,
I think that's a test I could pass.
me too.
Exactly. You guys have do you have teacher work day Monday? We do.
Yes, we do.
Oh no, I wish we did.
We
I
do.
took off. I took off on Monday,
Oh.
this past Monday, and I said I need a break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's driving me crazy. I be getting headaches on this computer. I'm like, God, it's like something. And getting these kids to keep the camera on, it's like,
Oh.
come on.
That's the worst.
Carly, do you use blue light glasses?
No.
Somebody told me, somebody I
hope
work
they
with, a lot of our teachers are using blue light glasses, but somebody I work with says that he was getting really bad headaches every day. And he, like, you can get really cheap. I got like a big pack of them for my kids for like $20 on Amazon, but he bought a really good pair. And he said it immediately made his headaches go away.
And you could fit them over your existing glasses, like prescription, or no?
You probably could. They make them
can.
pretty big, but you can also get your prescription with blue light, I think.
Yep, you
Okay.
can.
I will.
My daughter bought them and she said it makes a huge difference.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to get some, because my principal, him and I had a one-on-one, and he was saying, I need a new prescription. Something's going on.
Yep.
My son,
Yeah,
too.
but a different kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's,
Yep.
Migraine medicine.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, you ladies
Whew.
have a nice weekend.
You as
Enjoy.
well.
Too.
Bye,
Y'all
everybody.
too.
Hard.
Pour
Sorry,
you a
I had to
glass.
pop in
Pour you a
late.
glass.
you're
Pour
fine.
you a glass. Bye.
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 See you.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Surely.
Bye, sweetie. See you later.
Okay,
And
bye.
Stop it. You know me, I don't know how to stop this thing now. Okay. Pause, stop recording. Okay.